Abraham, Werner, not on the score sheet much of late. They don't need to be. Chelsea are doing more than enough without strikers' goals. They've beaten Everton here by 2-0. Stay tuned for the post-match verdict on the Fifth Stand app, and I shall go down and talk to Mr. Tuchel and perhaps Mr. Herr Havertz as well. Toodaloo.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. A convincing performance from the Blues tonight. 2-0 winners over Everton. Jorginho's second half spot kick won by Kai Havertz. Played a major part in the first goal as well. I'm giving it him, even if they're not officially giving it him. Zach, let's start with Kai Havertz. Terrific today. We'll give him the first goal. Should have had a second as well, potentially.
Yeah,
won the penalty. Brilliant all round. Did
everything he could have been tasked to today, apart from officially maybe get a goal. He was unfortunate. He looked like he had more energy today. He had more of an idea with what he was doing, what his whole position was meant to be. He wasn't really playing striker, but he wasn't really playing 10. It was like a 9.5 per se. Werner would go out to the right, Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left. A really, really good performance. And just the start of what we'll probably be expecting from now on. It'll be really interesting to see how Tuchel maybe try and blends everyone into the squad. But I mean, he brought Mason on. He didn't take off Havertz for Mason, which is good to see. So he does see a vision where they can both play. It was nice, and I think for him, we saw the bit at the end where apparently he was going to get asked to be subbed off, and then they ended up changing his mind, and he seemed to be buzzing that he's going to stay on the pitch. For him, he seemed to enjoy his football. That was the big thing. Today looked like every time he wanted the ball, he wanted to make the decisions on that pitch. He was happy to be there, happy to be playing football for Chelsea Football Club, and it looked really, really good today. I was buzzing. Such a happy performance from him. And to be fair, the whole Chelsea squad today, was fantastic. Defensively, another clean sheet. Jesus.
Pat, something that Zach's picked up on there that I think is a terrific point in terms of that swagger, that air of confidence about Kai Havertz that, again, I keep coming back to it because we've all looked at the YouTube montages when he was at his brilliant best at Bayer Leverkusen, and tonight seemed to be that where he's drifting in and out of position. He doesn't look hassled by any sort of anything different other than the fact that he's just focused on playing football, getting on the ball and making things happen. And yeah, he was terrific tonight, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's got to be man of the match, I think. The fact that he's powered up again, he's had to power up. The part of that is, no injuries, getting used to the speed of the game. when you are match fit, you don't feel tired. You just cruise through games. So, he was probably fighting against that the entire time. Talking about Chelsea against Liverpool, I described it as a grown-up performance. I've seen a lot of very mature performances from this team as a group now. And he's just been that 100%. This isn't a one-off. This is actually it. It's stuff. I'm really confident now. I think Zach was alluding to that, and I would totally agree. It's not going to go back to the Kai who was a little bit flimsy looking and getting shoved off the ball. That's gone. We can really enjoy looking forward now. And I think other teams will look at that squad we've got just now. And the players that are on that bench walking and thinking, oh my God, you hate to see that, especially to get tired at the end of the season. I think that was a very, very impressive and important game for us. And asked you a question last week, where do you think we'll end up in the league? I'm still feeling good about second, mate.
City lost, lads.
Yes, Zach, never give it up, mate. Never give it up. It's not over till it's over. Jace, but tonight was a really important result. But on top of the result, the performance is key tonight. How impressed were you?
Comfortable it was, wasn't it? We're making, Ben and I were talking about when Tuchel came in, we were beating sides. We were comfortably, even though the scoreline won't suggest, but we were comfortable, beating sides that we should beat, winning games we should win. Atleti, Liverpool, Manchester United. Today, we're now, okay, we didn't beat United, but we're unbeaten in these games, and we're now winning these games that actually, on paper, that's a tough game today. I was concerned about this game today because Everton are chasing down not just a European spot, but Champions League spot. And today showed really the golfing class because, okay, they've had injuries, and I think it's fair to say that their team would look different if they didn't. But having said all that, the golfing class today was huge. Comfortable. We don't look like conceding. We don't look like we're going to lose a game. It's as impressive as you can get, honestly. And this season can still be remarkable. There's a lot of football to be played in 3 different competitions right now. And we can still, and honestly, we can pick some silverware up here. And looking at that, the way Havertz has come in games that are going to be tight. And I'm expecting Champions League games. Today's performance tells me that he is, and I think Pat was just mentioning it there, we're starting to see the Havertz that we thought we were going to sign. There's a huge amount to go, but he was the best player on the pitch today.
Zach, just in terms of when we anticipated that Everton would kind of change it up and try and give it a go a little bit, and I thought maturity come into it massively in terms of the way that Chelsea kept the ball, and there was a moment, in fact, I think when it was getting a little bit basketball-y, it was kind of getting from end to end, sort of live to live, but the really interesting part was Mason Mount just slowing things down when he come on, relaxing a little bit, keeping possession, keeping the ball. The fact that you've got these players, that perhaps that game management that younger players don't get credited often with, throughout the squad tonight, there was a huge amount of that, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think no one dropped below a 7 today, honestly. I mean, Mendy didn't have much to do, so and he kept clean sheets. So
Zach, I'm really sorry, mate. Ben's got Kai Havertz, so let's cross live to that now.
We got a lot of confidence now, and we keep on doing like this.
I don't know if you've seen the replays of the goal. I don't know if they're giving it to you or as an own goal from goal.
I don't know. It's to be honest, it doesn't matter. It's a goal. That is what counts. Of course, it would be nice to have a goal, especially because I had a lot of time without a goal. But I don't care about this. The most important thing is that we score, and that is what counts.
And at the other end there, were you aware that Pickford was coming out? And so did you think, I could probably go outside him and he'll probably foul me? Yeah,
I knew before, I think 5 meters before, that he will come like this, and it was only a matter of time to fall down, and it was easy for me to get the penalty, and it's good for us.
If we score 2 goals, we're fine. We're normally fine with 1 goal. The defence is incredible at the moment, but you all seem to be part of it. Do you just feel like no one's going to score against us? That's Man U, Atletico, Liverpool, Everton. These are good sides, and they didn't look like any of them were going to score against us.
Yeah, I think it's a team effort. I think it's not only the defense. Of course, you have to say they're doing a great job right now, but of course it's the whole team. We are very strong defensively. I think every part of the team is included. Also, the offensive players, they're doing a lot of work right now. And I think it's a team effort, and I hope that we will continue like that. I think it will give us a lot of confidence, to have very, very many clean sheets. But yeah, of course, we're very happy with it.
Just finally on you personally, in terms of how you feel physically, because we know you missed quite a few weeks through the autumn and the winter. Do you feel in your body, do you feel about where you want to be, or are you at top level? Have you got a bit more, where do you feel?
Yeah, of course. As I said, it was not easy for me, to come here, and everything was new. But I think now, 7 months ago, I came, and now it's time to perform. I know that by myself. I know there are many people right now. They have doubts on me, and I just keep on going. I keep on working, and I try to help my team in every training session, every game. That's the most important thing, And I hope that a performance like this will give me a lot of confidence. And yeah, I hope to continue like this.
Well played, Kai. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Zach, it's lovely to hear Kai Havertz speak like that in the way that he's sort of, I suppose, getting back to his best. Even in his own words, there he said he acknowledged how difficult it was for him, but the maturity that he's shown as well, especially in the penalty incident as well, because you see a lot of players that perhaps shy away from the contact coming when Jordan Pickford rushes out. He sees the picture 3 or 4 meters before, even he said himself 5 or 6 meters before he knew what was going to go on, and he tries to take it around the goalkeeper, wins the penalty. But again, that's the maturity we're talking about from players in game management, isn't it?
Yeah, reading the game exceptionally well, knowing that contact's coming and winning a penalty for the side. He had a really, really, really good performance today. I'm sure he'll leave Stamford Bridge with his head held up high, and also making Tuchel look at his squad and go, wow, he's in for a shout here. I mean, we mentioned that obviously Mason Mount won't be playing against Atletico Madrid. I now look at that and think he's 100% going to be starting, may even possibly start as well against Leeds. Because now it's about building it. It's about doing it in the next game, making sure that he's having an impact and continuing. And then it's confidence just growing and growing and growing, and he'll be shining. It's so good to see. And he seemed happy today, and a bit of a weight lifted off his shoulders. And so I'm sure the boys as well, all of his teammates will be buzzing for him. And look, there's still a little way left for the Premier League. He can really make an impact.
I love this positivity. And Pat, obviously, myself and you are both bang on with the score, but I think at 2-0, everyone was thinking Zach was certainly feeling a lot more confident than we were, because we're creating chances, aren't we?
Yeah, no. To be honest, the other day there, I went for 2-0 Liverpool, and I was gutted. I thought, I've been done here. We deserve to beat them at least 2-0. And the thing is, we're creating chances. It's looking much, much better. Do you know what? You're now looking around and thinking, hey, I've no idea what our best team is, right? And that usually is a bad thing. And it's a great thing just now. I have no idea. This moment, I was just thinking, see if you have Havertz and Mason Mount in the same team behind whoever, doesn't matter which one. The energy of those two that's unbelievable. That's especially the willingness of both of them to go forward from that sort of area. And it's all the options now that you give yourself more options. We didn't have the Alonso option. We've got the Alonso option now. We've got all sorts of centre-back options now. It's a joy to see all these different things. And the weird thing is, they're all working. It doesn't seem to matter what. Do you put Kanté in there? Do you put Jorginho, Kovacic? It doesn't matter. Because of the system, because of what we're trying to do, because of the work rate, because of the spirit, it's all working. I have to say, seriously excited by this team at the moment. Really, really excited by this team. That's why I'm not one for hyperbole. I really am not. But that's why I said last week, second, it's not beyond us. It really isn't beyond us. We'll leave the cups out. I'll wait for another game until I get carried away about them.
Completely agree, Pat. I mean, mathematically, the treble's still on, but that's not the point. Jay, but what Pat's saying there is a great point about Mason Mount still to come back into the side if you try and find a way. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I thought, was terrific again last night, and he seems to be another one. Every position he's given, every role he's given, every task he's given, he steps up again. I thought today he was one of our, again, as he always is, one of our most creative players. He always looks dangerous when he gets on the ball, cuts in from the left or the right. Like Pat said, the squad that we have, the ability that we have, the players that we have. I mean, how on earth do you pick a team for Saturday? Never mind next Tuesday.
No, well, they're all playing well right now, and they'll all feel as though they got a chance and should be starting. I mean, Callum's movement for the goal, because the way that they're set up, there was very little space in behind. They kept forcing us back sideways, which we were happy to do because we were keeping possession. But the moment that he spins and turns away, and the weight of pass into Marcus, it's a brilliant ball, because those balls don't often those chances don't present themselves against a 5 at the back. They're hard to create. That's how the first goal came about. We've not even mentioned Jorginho and Cover. I mean, the pair of those in there, the amount of interplays between one another and the understanding of another's roles and the little movement and the ball. I mean, we're talking about Kai for the penalty. The pass, if that's Kevin De Bruyne, you know, people are talking and waxing lyrical about the best midfielder. That pass was, don't underestimate how good that pass was, because it is a brilliantly weighted pass. It is the right footer. You've got to put enough weight on it so that the defenders can't get to it, but enough so that Kai can. Honestly, it's a pleasure watching them right now. You know, I'm gutted to have seen Frank leave, but where we are now, the football we're playing right now, compared to what was going back on December and early part of this year, totally different. We're talking about a completely different outfit. Everyone is at it. Everyone. That's Plaqueta. I mean, he's been magnificent against. I mean, look, I'm just naming players now, but they're all magnificent.
Mate, you are well within your rights to, because you're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. Jorginho and Kovacic, I think they are well worth a discussion. And again, we could be going till the early hours to talk about how good they are. And Zach, again, like we're saying with every position, and it feels like we're just trotting out the same sort of the same cliches, but the biggest compliment you can pay them is, at the moment, you make it hard to find a case for N'Golo Kanté to start some games. And then likewise, when Kanté comes in, you find it hard for Kovacic to start or Jorginho to start. Whenever someone comes in, it's like you could go, well, they're not moving for another couple of weeks, because they play that well whenever they get the opportunity. And when we have a squad like that, how on earth do you pick them? But what a position to be in, Zach.
If I'm Thomas Tuchel, it must be the hardest and also the easiest thing at times. I mean, we know that Tuchel loves to pick a squad based on his opponents, based on what he's coming up against. And I think if I'm a player, then that doesn't mean, if I'm not getting picked, that in my head, that isn't, I've not done enough. It's just maybe Tom Tuchel thinks today, this guy's better here. Like, we see Chilwell and Alonso. If we're going to be doing a bit more defending down that flank, it seems to be Chilwell. If it's going to be a super attacking flank, it seems to be Alonso. And both of them, I'm pretty sure, being dropped, you always want to play, of course, but both of them, I guess, will be have that understanding between it. And as he said, we're in a season where you're playing games basically every 3 days. You're going to get game time no matter what. You're going to be playing big fixtures where you will be needed. And so it's about turning up on those days and basically giving a reason why Tuchel should put you in that squad week in, week out. Every single one of those players today was so good. Defensively, midfield and attack, just lost for words.
Pat, I want to talk about Reece James, because again, I think he's another one that we all know how good Reece is going forward, and I think modern day fullbacks are judged at both ends of the pitch. You know, you talk about sort of two different players when you talk about fullbacks. It feels at the moment you talk about defensively, and it's like Aaron Wan-Bissaka's that good, and you talk about offensively, and you talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold and his delivery. Reece James for me seems to be the complete fullback. I know that we've had this conversation. We've spoken at length about how good we feel Reece is. But defensively, how much he offers that solidity. He never gets beaten in the air. He never gets beaten one-on-one. He's so important to the way that Chelsea's set up, isn't he?
Yeah, you see all those things. The power side of it is an amazing thing with him, because he's got a type of physique where there was a moment, I'm trying to think, I think it was Sigurdsson was good. It was
Sigurdsson, it was.
Yeah. You saw that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Then you tried to tackle him. And went, get off. It's like, get off. It just bounced off him.
Mismatch. Complete mismatch.
It was extraordinary. I mean, that's all right with me against a big 6'2" centre-half. No, this is a big, strong player and couldn't get near him. And he had 5 yards on it. And I looked at it, I just thought, A, the power to do that, but B, the confidence to be able to do that. So you can't beat me. You can't get by me. I'm stronger than you. And he's just about stronger than anyone. So that, good defending, good positional play, really comfortable and calming the ball when he's on it, even in defensive situations, 2 or 3 players around him. Can I go back to one word that Jason said? I need to talk about it. Jason's so brilliant. You know how upset I was? We go back. I love Jorginho, and I always have, right? Even when some of the lads, the fans were not so keen on, I've always adored him. now that he's got Cover and him together, they're telepathic now, aren't they? And I know what Jason's saying there. There's a few times when they play passes together, and I don't know two other players in the league that would play passes to each other in that situation because they understand their ability to roll other players. It's so hard to explain how good an understanding that is. And I don't actually think there's any two better than those two when they're working together that well. They sometimes come up against 4 players against the 2 of them, and I think the 4 are outnumbered. It's that good, the understanding.
I mean, let's have a little look at the race then for the top 4, because obviously at the moment Chelsea are in 4th, 50 points, 28 games played. West Ham are 0-0 at the moment with Leeds. They've got a game in hand and the one they're playing at the moment. But even if they win both games in hand, there'll be a point in it. There'll be a point ahead of us. You know, they've still got a very tough run. Everton now, if they do win their game in hand, will be a point behind us. Likewise, Spurs, they'll be 2 behind us. Jace, in terms of the race, in terms of when you have big games like this, when you're playing the teams around you, is there a difference mentally if you've put the stoppers on someone around you, or is it just now a case of you don't look past each and every game?
A little bit of both, I think, really. Today was a big game. That we're talking about sides here that haven't been in the Champions League since David Moyes, or only in the knockouts in these, the qualifiers. And this is a side that wants to try and get there. We're now starting to see, it feels like a top 4. Feels like it's what it as is now. It feels like that possibly could be the way it is come the end of the season. There's a lot of football to be played, huge amount. But we just got to keep doing what we do. We are right now, we're the best side in the country. I know the league doesn't tell you that, but the form, and you look at the goals conceded, look at the games played, look at the points accrued, we are playing Premier League winning football right now. I know it's only been a short time, but that's how good we're in a run now. So there is no reason why we can't continue to look up.
I mean, just clip that up for me, Zach. Just clip that up for me. Replay it time and time again. And again, we'll have this same conversation when, we're allowed back in the stadium and the players are parading the Champions League and the FA Cup trophy, and we're talking about going on and doing
and the Premier League trophy.
And the Premier League trophy. Why not? Chuck them all in. Let's have them all. Let's have everything. Let's have the Euros as well. It does, Zach, there's every reason to feel that sort of positivity at the moment, because like Jason said, 10, 11 games into the Thomas Tuchel reign, we've conceded 2 goals. One of those was an own goal. When you don't concede goals, you don't lose games, and Chelsea don't look like conceding goals.
There's a real dominance showing Chelsea's play. Not only are they getting results, they're dominating the game. As we said today should have been 4 or 5 in a realistic world and keeping a clean sheet. And so if you're now a team who's facing against us, you go from thinking maybe a couple of months ago we might nick a result here at a Wolves, or to now going, God, we've just got to try and sit back and defend. There were so many times and periods where a team would come to us if they defended and tried to play us on the counter-attack. We really didn't know what to do. We had no idea how to get that ball into there, how to break their lines today. Everton did that today, especially for that first half, and we scored a goal. And we showed them we now know what to do if you're going to try and play football like this. We probably still need to become a little bit more clinical. I think we're probably missing too many chances at times. But if we do that, then I mean, how long can an unbeaten run go for? There we go.
Till next May would be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, what a good evening. I mean, there's plenty coming up on the 5th stand, of course. You can see highlights of today's game a little bit later on, which I would very much recommend, of course. And all of the post-match as well, including Kai Havertz, of course. On Friday afternoon, don't miss the manager's pre-match press conference ahead of our trip to Ellen Road this weekend. Later that evening, we are up against Everton again from 7 p.m. in the PL2. And we kick off the weekend nice and early. Join us from 11:20 as we add another chapter into the Chelsea and Leeds rivalry book. I mean, what a performance. A huge step forward for the Blues tonight, setting the pace for those chasing top 4. Another milestone too. Thomas Tuchel becomes the first Chelsea manager in Premier League history to keep 5 home clean sheets in his first 5 home games. Likewise, first time we've managed 5 home clean sheets in a row since 2014. A very good evening all round. We're all loving life. Thank you for watching.